Welcome to another Telltale Books video. I'm Greg, and I'm continuing more of my Stephen King coverage, again with another story, finishing up the Night Shift collection. And the story is The Woman in the Room. It's number 46 on my Stephen King list, and it was first published in Night Shift by Doubleday on February 17, 1978. This is just a short story. It's another of these that I can't really say a whole lot about, and there isn't a whole lot to say about it. The basic synopsis is you have this guy that is dealing with the slow cancer death of his mother. And so it's very much a character story. It's not a horror story, not a thriller story. Okay, it's different from your typical Stephen King here again. Just like the last one I reviewed, The Last Rung on the Ladder. This is not what most people would expect from Stephen King. This is writing more of a literary fiction type of thing, and he does a really good job. I wouldn't call this a top tale, but it was very enjoyable. It had a lot of tension. It's a well-written story with some excellent character to it. So if you're willing to read something by Stephen King that is not horror and not thriller, this is a good story for you. It really was an excellent story. And if you're going ahead and buying the whole Night Shift collection, there's so much other good stuff in that book that this comes with it for no more money. Why not read it? I think you'll enjoy it. If you open your mind, step out of the genre mentality, which I had to do. When I was young, my genre mentality was science fiction. If it wasn't science fiction, I didn't read it. And so I never read Stephen King. I had people hand me Stephen King books and say, you really should try it. And I didn't, because it wasn't Isaac Asimov. It wasn't Arthur C. Clarke. It wasn't anything like that. And so I didn't want to read it. And that's fine if you want to be that way. But I found when I set that mentality aside and tried these kinds of stories, especially when I set that mentality aside and I read my very first Stephen King work, which was The Dead Zone, I was blown away. And of course, the Dead Zone is borderline science fiction, but then I read Carrie and was blown away again, and I read The Shining and I was blown away again. I mean, once I opened my mind to the idea that stories that are not science fiction can be really enjoyable to read, I found some very valuable books, stuff that I'm so glad I've read them. So glad that I discovered them, that I finally took the time to discover what they were all about and why everybody else loves them so much. So you definitely want to try that sometimes. Maybe you're not going to like it. Maybe you're going to be like me and you're going to go, wow, what have I been missing? And this is one of those stories that could be that way. Like I say, this isn't a story that's going to blow your mind. It's not a great story, but it's a very, very good story. So that's The Woman in the Room. Leave your comments if you've read The Woman in the Room. Leave them in the comments section of the video. I'd like to hear your take on it. I hope you'll join me for that and all the other Stephen King and everything else that I do here on Telltale Books. But as you're exiting this video, please remember to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and keep coming back for them, because otherwise you're just going to miss out.